When painting a serrated edge, make sure you draw the outline large enough. Remember, you've got the inner edge of the serration where it's narrowest and the outer edge, and you should know how far this distance is. Here you can see that I've drawn 2 lines and erased the inner one. Once you've finished the pencil drawing, you can put down the first wash. This can either be as a clear water wash to drop colour in or a tea wash. I'm putting down a tea wash here and working it inside the pencil line. Then, while it's still wet, I take a thicker mix of the paint and apply colour, dropping it into the wet. If you need to add a touch more water, then don't be afraid to do so. I'm using a size 6 brush here and work swiftly down the outside edge and then fill in the centre. The idea being to keep the paint flowing. You can also see that I use clear water just to keep the highlight. Once I've finished, I start to push out the serrations, working quickly down the outer edge while the paint's still wet. This can be done with a damp brush if you don't want to have any change in colour, or you can add more colour if you need a darker area. Once the serrations are complete, you can go back in with some paint on a smaller brush and pick out the shadow areas underneath each serration. Another common problem is having rough outer edges, and this is something that can be resolved. If we look at them under the magnifier, you can see the difference in a clean edge and a rough edge. The best way of dealing with this is to take a short, flat synthetic brush. This will enable you to dampen the area with clean water and then push the paint out until it forms a smooth, clean outer edge. This will mean that you may have to go slightly larger than you originally intended. The most common reason for these rough outer edges is where you've overpainted multiple layers. You can reduce the effect of this happening by working with a flat brush on the edge earlier in the painting. You can see here that once I've completed the edge, I go inside with a clean water brush and smooth out the finish. And so there is no waterline visible where I've worked on the outer edge. You can also add serrated edges to a dry leaf painting like this. And it's the same approach. You just dampen the edge and then use the flat brush to push out the point on each of the serrations. Then take a small size 2 brush and pick out the detail around the edge, putting in the shade under each serration. And soften any lines using a clear water brush over the main body of the leaf.